Hey guys, Dave here. Welcome to the Centurion's Review. This is Zaberias. The manufacturer just sent me this to review. Let me show you what I got. I got the human faction, undead faction, got guardians here, and then of course we have the orcs. So let me show you what you get in each of these. This is a 2 to 4 player game. So first you got your dice down here, which are held in here. Here's your half, your part of the map right here. And let me show you the playing pieces. All right, here's your coins that you use to buy stuff with and to do upgrades. And then you have towers. You have a wood tower here, which costs 1 gold point, and it has a defense of 1 dice. You have a metal tower here that costs 2 gold points and has a defense of 2 dice. And you have this is a metal tower here, and the top one's a gold tower that has 3 coins and has 3 dice to defend itself with. Alright, and so next to the wood tower here, these are all the different units you can buy when you have a wood tower. And on the back of them, it says how much they cost. This one just costs 1 coin. Here's the ones you can buy with the metal tower. Those are more expensive, of course. And up here are your top tier units that you would buy once you have a gold tower. So let me set up the game, and we'll play a couple turns. Alright, so to start the game, each side has a wood tower. There's one there. And there's another one here for the other side, and then you just roll some dice to see who goes first. Looks like the humans will be going first. So they got 5 coins they also started with. And when you use them, just flip them over to show that they're used. Kind of a neat little system. So what can he do here? He's going to buy some units. So he's going to buy this guy here for 1 gold point. And on the unit here, on the bottom here is how far he moves. And up here you'll see 1 dice. That means he rolls 1 dice. And the 3 means he gets a modifier of 3. So he rolls 1 dice and adds 3 to it. Alright, so let's get him on the board and move him. Alright, so this guy here is going to be placed right here. And he's going to move along the road. 1, 2, 3. Alright, so he's going to buy another tower now for another gold and put it there. And he's got 3 gold left. So he's going to buy this one, which is an archer. This one, this number in the middle is its range. So that costs 1 gold point. And that will start here. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. Alright, and last one is this one, a mermaid, which passes over water and units. That costs 2 gold points. So we'll start here and we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. So now he's on top of a gold mine, which means that they'll get an extra gold each turn. Alright, so before we go with the other side, let me show you some of the features of the board. This star here gives all your units a +1 when one of your units are there for attacking and defense and so forth. This is your mine here. The mine gives you 1 extra gold coin. And down here is a portal. If you walk through that portal, you'll come across through this portal over here. So it's a fast way to get to the other side of the board. Alright, let's start up with the orcs now. They're going to buy this unit here for 2. This is a flyer. So we'll go 1, 2, 3, 4. And now he's on the gold mine, that is. And he's going to buy the hunter here for 1. This guy moves 3, so 1, 2, 3. And he's going to buy a tower here for 1 and put it there. And last but not least, he's going to buy the flamethrower guy for 1. He's only got a movement of 3 though. So we'll go 1, 2, 3. There's no combat this turn, so now turn number 2 starts. So the humans will go first, and the first thing they do is calculate the amount of gold they have. So they have 1, 2, 3. So I flip over 3 coins. They have 3 coins available to spend. And they're going to spend 2 of them to upgrade this here to a metal tower. Now they got 1 left. There's nothing really they can buy for 1. So they're going to move some units. So this guy's going to go 1, 2, 3. Now all their units have a +1. This will move out 1, 2, or let me see here. This will actually move over. This has got flying, so he's going to move over to here. And this one will move over to here. Alright, now we can do some combat here. They have a total of 2 dice +5. One is +3, one is +2, and the enemy has 1 dice +2. Alright, so we'll roll them all together. Actually, the attacker would roll first and then the other guy, so the attacker will go. So he's got 11. There's no way the other guy can defeat that. So he's got a 3. So unfortunately, this guy is no longer with us. He goes back in the pool and can be. You can buy him again later. All right. So let's start with the other side. They have just 2, so they're gonna flip over 2 coins here. And you know what? I think they're going to buy a metal tower for 2. That's all they're going to buy. And this guy here will move out to here. And this guy will, yeah, he's just going to go there. So they got 1 last round of combat. So this guy, 1 dice +3 versus 1 dice +1. So he'll go first. He gets 3 total because it was +3. And the other one gets just 1. So he managed to kill the archer. Alright, that's the basics of how the game is played. Len and I will do our review portion now. One last thing I need to mention is that in order to win the game, you just destroy all the enemy units and all their towers and you win. Hey guys, Dave and Len here. We played something unique now. This is Zaberias. This is a war game that you could play with your kids. It says the age level is 6 to adult. Well, if you're going to play with your 6-year-old kid, your kid can play it, but you're going to have to read the rule book because a 6-year-old won't be able to read that well. But it'll only take you 5 minutes to show your 6-year-old how to play. And so with you playing and supervising, I think the 6-year-old would do well. It's basically a fantasy war game where you can build units and upgrade your towers and stuff. Plays pretty quick. I think one game we played was, what, about 15 minutes, and the other one was about 45 minutes.
Yeah, the second one I learned the system, so I was able to give you more. It was more of a challenge for you.
Yeah, it just seems to work well. It uses a square grid map instead of a hex map, which makes it a little bit simpler for the kids and stuff. And the terrain's not too complicated. I mean, you got roads, so if you want to, you can only move basically diagonal if you're moving along a road. And then there's water, and certain units can fly over water, and certain units can fly over other units. There's no stacking in this. You can only have 1 unit per space. So having flying units definitely comes in handy. But what did you think of it, Len?
I thought it was a perfect Christmas present for Pugsley and Wednesday. And, well, actually, it reminded me of the introductory games I used to play in the early days of Wargame. I think most notably like Kriegspiel, because the thing about that game was that you rolled the dice, and if you got hot or your opponent made a mistake, suddenly you had an advantage, and you're just, at that point, there's a turning point, you're just trying to determine how quickly you can win the game.
Well, this is sort of like a block game in that since you're building units and stuff, with the gold that you generate, if basically you're generating 6 gold and your enemy's only generating like 2 or 3 gold at this time, it's just a matter of time before he's going to die. So you want to get yourself in a position where you're getting the maximum gold, which is 6 per turn, and you're bringing out big creatures and stuff. But there's a caveat to that, though. If you bring out big creatures and he's got a bunch of smaller ones and he surrounds it, well, your big creature's probably going to die. But yeah, I mean, it's a game of cat and mouse, basically. But one thing I think that's really clever about this is how it comes. This one here is the Guardians. This one's the Undead. This one's Humans. And this one's Orcs. What's cool about this is the top comes off, and that's your half of the board. And then you got all the units in here, so you'll never lose them because you can immediately tell if you're missing one. And the dice are even in here and stuff on the bottom. So it's a really cool system for storing the components. And when you're playing, you got the coins down here, and you can just flip them over as you use them and stuff to show that they're used. So I thought it was a really clever system for storing the components, and you don't have a big box or anything, so shipping would be cheaper too, and it'd be easier to store this. So my take on this, if you're an adult playing an adult, you'll find it a solid, good game. But however, if you're an adult and you're playing with your kids, and you can play this 2 to 4 players, I think you'll probably find this game to be 100% if you're playing with your kids. So what's your take?
Yeah, I think, first of all, a 6-year-old, 7-year-old will find this to be a major challenge, but it'll be, I think they'll have
a lot of fun.
Yeah, I feel it's doable. You know, maybe it'll take a couple games before they understand it, but I think if they're the average offspring of a wargamer, they'll catch on quick.
Yeah.
And as an adult, I think the only problem I had, well, okay, first of all, punching out the counters at the beginning was kind of hard, because they're hard to hold. But
yeah, but after you've punched them out the first time, then they go in and out easier, so that's no big deal.
And also, the lines donating the squares are kind of faint. But the problem is it's always hard to decide, like, you know, how deep they should be, because if they're too thick, then they just distract from the terrain. But I was thinking, it really isn't that much of a problem. I think it's only a problem for older adults with fading eyesight. A child will, yeah.
I don't think a kid will have any trouble seeing where the squares are on the board.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's good to see that there's another war game out there that uses a square map and has been successful, because I personally, though I have nothing against hex maps, I play lots of war games with hex maps, I think there are circumstances where the square map is better, such as this game pretty much proves it, like to make the game a little bit simpler for kids and stuff. So, yeah. So we basically give this 2 thumbs up. So once it's on the market, I think this is the prototype that they sent me here. They sent me this to review. So once it's on the market, yeah, definitely pick up a copy. Have a good one.
All right.